Today I'm going to demo embossing on shrink plastic. This is a piece I had done earlier, and this was on the Opulent series. And this is a piece that I've done on my new gold and silver line that has been available at my trade shows and is going to be coming soon to my the shrinkets shop. So as we go along, I'll talk about what is more successful and what is not. What I have found is that when I'm using my ink pads, it's nice if there's old ink residue in them versus a brand new clean stamp. Simply because even though I clean my stamps, residue will be built up in it, and with the heat and the pressure, shadows of it can transfer into the piece. So if you have a new stamp, put some ink on and then wipe a lot of it all off so that it's only in the crevices, and that will get you this shadowed look, I believe. So these are the pieces we're going to use. We're going to try the Opulent with the silver. This was a piece on regular sanded and smooth shrink plastic, and I just outlined it with a colored pencil and wiped the ink pad directly on it, letting it bleed the colored pencil. I have found that my gem tone series does not work well with embossing. There's something between what I surface that with and the heat and the pressure that tends to lift the color off the gem tone. Then this one is one I've done with markers, and you can only emboss one side. So when you're embossing, you have to place the side that you want to see the embossed surface on against the rubber stamp. And you need a very hard surface to stamp onto, so I'm going to use this, and when I heat up I'll be applying pressure between the two, a lot of pressure. So I'm going to punch some holes into this one so that I can have dangles on it and a center design element, which I'll show you how I'm going to attach that. I'm going to do the same with the little Opulent shield. These are all pieces cut out from my medallion tag templates that are available on the website. So let's get started. The first one we're going to do is the Opulent, and use a pencil to hold that down so it doesn't blow around. If you've worked with the Opulent before, you know sometimes it doesn't like to shrink flat. So I'm going to place this here. I'm going to use my leaf pattern, and I'm going to press very hard and rock it around. And let it cool and peel it off, and I get this beautiful embossing on it. I really like the embossing on the Opulent series. The two. Okay, next we're going to emboss this one here, and this will be more subtle because the embossing shows up less on the transparent versus a background that's opaque. So I encourage you just to experiment. Flatten back out. I'm going to emboss the matte side. Press hard, rock around, apply a lot of pressure, guys, a lot of pressure. Got a little stuck in there. And our embossed pattern's very, very subtle on that. So let's take a ink pad, put gray over this. And there we have it showing up, and it creates a really nice, fun layered effect. So we just rubbed our ink pad over that and brought that out. Now we're going to take the one that I'd already pre-colored with the ink pad. The last one was done with markers. And once again, I'm going to emboss the frosted side. Press really hard and rock it. And we get this lettering on the embossing. And I'm going to pick a color that I think would be pretty with that. I'm going to put some green on it. And there it shows up really, really well. Really interesting motif on there. Okay, and next, I think I'll punch a center hole in this so that I have an opportunity for a design on this. Heat up. This one I'm also going to emboss the frosted side. Press hard. And gorgeous. I'm going to enhance that just a smidgen with gray around my edges. Oh heck, I've put it all over it. And it's absolutely gorgeous. So what I have found that the they're all successful. And I can take at any point and put a little medallion, a little piece on this. I think I'm going to demo one more piece, and that will be the sanded and the transparent. So I'm going to prep that. So I've prepped my sanded and smooth piece, and we're going to emboss that. Going to emboss the frosted side again. Press hard. Rock. And we get this gorgeous medallion that looks like pressed glass. I'm going to go over and put a bit of blue ink on it to bring that out. Just rub it on there. See how that comes out. That really allows you to see it well. Flip it over. It's a lighter look. Blot up any excess ink. That's the key to being able to use non-stays-on ink pads, is blotting up excess so it can dry. So that really brought out the embossing on it, and you can build up your ink slowly in layers. If you want it darker, add more. And then make sure you blot up extra between each layer. Here, I'm going to bring this up. So it's very pretty. Very subtle, very pretty. So on this piece, we're going to add a little extra to it. I had drilled a hole here, and a hole here. When you press the shrink plastic into the rubber stamp, you can sometimes distort little holes that you drilled. So take your little bead reamer or your Dremel and make sure they're open back up for jump rings and whatnot. Charms. Notice I'm going back and forth like a file, using the bead reamer like a file. I love this bead reamer. I sell these on my site. It's diamond coated. It's a spiral like a drill, so you can get deep into drill into the hole, and then once there, go up and down like a file and open it up. So I'm going to take some Irish waxed linen. This too I sell on my site in natural and black. And I'm going to take a little pink bead and run it through. Double it over and run it through the Irish wax linen. And I'm going to take a little blue bead run it through. A sequin. Run it through. A wax linen allows you to twirl and press your pieces just like rubbing beeswax onto beading string. You twirl and it presses them together so that they go through holes easily. Then we're going through the center hole in the flower bead that I made using the bezel mold. Made that earlier. Going to put a bead cap on. Then I'm running it through the hole. I can pick either side. Obviously, that's the reverse of the emboss, but I'm going to put the embossed side forward. And then this is the little fun trick. Take a button. This happens to be a little pink mother of pearl button. And run the Irish wax linen up through the holes in your button. Got a little chip in my button, that's okay. Pull those tight and then tie a double knot really tightly. Wax linen the wax on the linen should hold it together really snugly. And that's a little cute cold construction piece. This happened to be a little leaf bead that I had made earlier. And I'm going to add that. Put a bronze jump ring, which I also sell on my site. These are my nice 6mm ones. Place that through the hole. Add this little leaf dagger bead, and we get a cute little tag medallion that you can do any fun things with. So on my website, I sell a lot of my favorite stamp pads, and I like really deeply etched rubber stamp pads, high quality, really deep etched, and background patterns. So you'll find my favorites on my website. And then I have gorgeous inks on my website too. And there's a free tutorial on my site of how to use inks on shrink plastic, and that shows you tips how you don't have to stick with StazOn, which is made for non-porous surfaces, and you can use ink pads that are for porous surfaces. Always use a waterproof permanent ink when stamping. So watch that video for the tip on that, and then check out my website, the Shrinkets Shop, for my beautiful selection of ink pads. So I carry some really beautiful colors there. And thanks for watching the embossing on shrink plastic.